Good morning, everybody. This is Pastor Anderson, and it is Sunday, April 11th already, and we are here with our 24th story out of our Bible storybook. We've been following the people of Israel as they have left Egypt, and now today they're going to run into a problem, but God has a solution for them. So let's dive in and see what's going on with the people of Israel today. So the people of Israel wind up, like I said, with a problem in today's story. They come into the wilderness and they start to grumble against Moses and Aaron because there's no food in the wilderness. They would rather have stayed in Egypt where the meat pots are and eaten bread as much as they wanted rather than die out here in this wilderness with no food. So God tells Moses, just wait, I'm going to rain bread down from heaven. And so Moses tells the people, in the morning you're going to wake up and you're going to see that God has provided for you food in the middle of this desert. And so they wake up in the morning and there's a very fine layer of dew all across the camp. And they pick it up and it's kind of thin and flaky, and the people say that it tastes like honey. And Moses says, this is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat, and here's the commandment about it. You're going to go out and gather as much as each person in your house can eat, and no more than that. And you're going to not leave any of it to the next day. You're going to gather it, you're going to make it into bread, then you're going to eat it, and we're not going to have any leftovers. But as you might expect, the people of Israel do not listen to Moses' instructions, and some of them leave it till the morning, and it grows worms and it stinks. And this is not okay. Moses is angry with them, and God is angry with them too, because they're not listening to his commandment about this bread. They wind up calling this bread manna, which in Hebrew, their language means, what is it? They're not entirely sure what it is, but it's from God. It's a gift for them, food in this wilderness. On the sixth day, that is the day before the Sabbath, they were to gather twice as much bread. And the rule on the Sabbath was you weren't allowed to go outside and work or do anything that involved labor, because it's the day that we remember God resting on the seventh day of the week of creation. But as you might imagine, there were some people that went out on the Sabbath day anyways and gathered, and that also made Moses angry because they're still not listening to God's commandments, even though he's providing for them in all of these different ways. God also provides quail, meat for the people, because bread is great, but sometimes you want some variety. And so in the evening times, quail birds come and cover the ground of the camp, and the people could gather those up and have meat to eat as well. And this is the pattern that they had all the time they were in the wilderness. They're going to be wandering around in this wilderness for 40 years, and they're going to eat manna the entire time that they're out there until they enter the promised land, in which case they can eat the fruit that is already in there. But manna lasts the whole 40 years that they're wandering in the wilderness as God provides for his people. And that's the story of the Israelites and their manna and quail. So, the first question I have for all of you to discuss today is just kind of a simple memory question. What special rules did God make about the manna and how they were to collect it, when they were to collect it, all of those things? And then what happened when some of the people didn't obey those rules from God? Think about those things together. And then when you're done with that, the second question I have, in John chapter 6, verse 32, Jesus calls himself the true bread that comes down from heaven. He actually references this story, the bread that came down from heaven, the manna that the Israelites ate. Jesus, in some way, is like that bread and even greater than the manna that came down from heaven. So in what ways is Jesus like bread from heaven, and in what ways is he greater than that? See if you can make a connection there. And then when you finished with that, you all can move on with the rest of your Sunday school lesson. God's richest blessings to all of you, and we will see you back on here next week with another story from our book. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.